Check. Check, 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 check. 1, 2. Check, 1, 2. Check, 1, 2, 3, 4. Craig, our GM, hates when I do that on the air. Check, 1, 2. Check, 1, 2. There's Justin. Now, I do that for you, Justin, because I know it drives you crazy back there, the buzz. Great to have everybody here today. What a beautiful day. Crazy day. If you're a Razorback fan, it is what it is. And holy cow, what a 24 hours, 36 hours. But I was telling Craig James, you know, since I've been doing work for the Buzz and KTV, we've been through this 4 times. You know, we did it with Houston, Petrino, John L. Smith, Bielema, Chad Morris. It's never fun. It's never, you know, it does create an intense focus by fans and people who aren't even fans. I mean, everybody in the state talks about this, whether you like football or not. It's the nature of it. I do want to say this about Sam Pittman. So Sam Pittman has been coming 6 years here to the Touchdown Club. He's always been very graceful, kind, always been super nice, been the ultimate gentleman. And, you know, obviously he's left the program in a better place than it was when he got here. And he's set for life financially. But he's been a super guy. And just from a Touchdown Club perspective, he's been great for us. So I want to give him a round of applause and thank him. So I just wish the radio business was like the coaching business, Craig. Because let me tell you, my butt would be fired tomorrow. Give me a check. Give me a check. How many of you were here last week and enjoyed Tim Brown? Holy cow, was he not outstanding? Tim was also in Fayetteville with Coach Holtz and got a chance to watch that the Notre Dame win. That was not much of a game for unless you're a Notre Dame fan, but it was great to have Tim. He was great. What a class act he was. Butch Jones next week. Rex, you know, ASU is struggling. They've lost 4 in a row. So they're struggling. They're on the ropes too. So we'll have Butch in next week. I was telling Craig, Kelly Finglass, I will tell you, it is sold out. Kelly Finglass is sold out. And it will be one of those meetings where we'll have a lot of people who are not Touchdown Club members. And that's why we warned you to try to get your tickets now. We just couldn't wait. We just didn't want to wait. In case you didn't want to buy your tickets, there are people that did want to buy it. I know, Heather, we've got the cover story coming out on Kelly Finglass. AMP magazine is going to be really cool, just like with Jimmy Johnson. So, but there is a waiting list. Debbie has created a waiting list if you go to the website to where there might be some tickets that pop up. So if you want to say, hey, David, I've got my daughter, my daughter's a cheerleader, she wants to come. There may be, we might be able to squeeze folks in. And those meetings will be, Kelly Finglass and Holly Rowe will be at the Marriott. The next 2 weeks with Butch Jones and Nathan from UCA will be here in this room. So anyway, it's going to be a crazy next few weeks, but we're glad you're here. Let's go ahead and draw the pop-up winners. All right, I remember this guy right here. Here we go. Watch out, 32. Watch out, 32. He looked at me and he said, I thought you played linebacker. I know, it's bad. All right, for our pop-up, thanks to Rockstar Passes, Brad and Joy, the winner. I love it. God bless. Craig James, 32, 041836. 041836. 041836. We have a winner. I pulled some more to get Roger. No? Going once? Going twice? All right, I was prepared. Here we go. There are some SMU fans here, Craig. 041833. 041833. Maybe this is rigged. I don't know. It's a rigged election. Is somebody waving? No? Is somebody waving? I'll do it. I got another one. Now listen, Craig. Craig, I'm sorry. This is not on purpose. This is so people have bought. Greg's raising his hand. Greg's going to raise his hand a minute. Oh my goodness. People bought these tickets, Craig. 04 maybe because we might want your coach. Maybe that's it. I don't know. 041-881. 041-881. Oh, there we go. There we go. Congratulations. Thanks, RJ. So, just FYI, too, I was telling Craig about our great coverage with Arkansas PBS and 103.7 The Buzz. So The Buzz is going to go live with our conversation with Craig, but they're also going to go live with a press conference at 12 o'clock with Bobby Petrino and Hunter Yurchek. Maybe you have heard Bobby Petrino hadn't even had a press conference. He's already fired 3 coaches. Wow. So it's moving. It's moving on the hills. So I think we need some prayer. And so I have prayed. I have prayed over the weekend that our man giving the prayer will have nothing but beautiful words to say about our guest. He's not wearing a Century 21 jacket, thanks goodness, where he doesn't have any opportunity to say anything. But let's give it up for Pigskin Preacher, everybody.
Craig, I like your coat a lot. It's very nice. So I tried to warn you folks about those Notre Dame people last week. They're a problem, and someone needs to do something about it. I don't know who that's going to be, but anyway. Our speaker today is one of the legends of football. He was part of one of the great running back rooms in the history of the sport, and they had the second best nickname of all football nicknames, the Pony Express. Anybody know what the first best nickname is? The Four Horsemen. Again, Notre Dame, which is what it is. But Craig, this is for you. This is from the American author Bret Hart, and he's writing about those brave Pony Express men. In times of adventure, of battle and song, when the heralds of victory galloped along, they spurred their faint steeds, lest the tidings too late might change a day's fortune, a throne or a state. Though theirs was all honor and glory no less, and his the bold knight of the Pony Express. No corselet, no visor, nor helmet he wears, no war-stirring trumpet or banner he bears, but pressing the sinewy flanks of his steed, behold the fond missives that bid him Godspeed. Some ride for ambition, for glory, or less. $5 an ounce, asked the Pony Express. Trip lightly, just out of the town, then canter and canter or upland and down, then trot, pony, trot over upland and hill, then gallop, boy, gallop, and galloping still, till the ring of each horse hoof, as forward ye press, is lost in the track of the Pony Express. By marshes and meadow, by river and lake, by upland and lowland, by forest and brake, by dell and by canyon, by bog and by fen, by dingle and hollow, by cliff and by glen, by prairie and desert and vast wilderness, at morn, noon, and evening, Godspeed the Express. Salute, my brother. Let's pray together. Father, we're thankful for the gathering here. We're thankful for the food and for the health that we enjoy. Father, we're thankful for David and his team that do such a great job. We're thankful for our speaker, and we pray that you be with Craig and his good family and bless them in the days ahead. Father, be with the folks on the Hill that will be making decisions today, in the rest of the week, the rest of the year. And Father, give them wisdom and give them insight so they can bring some winning football back to this great state. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Wow. Hey, Craig, you're not getting that prayer at the Dallas Touchdown Club, buddy. No way. Couple things here before we get to our sponsors. I thought it was interesting because of now what's happening with this discussion of the coaching search. Some will remember, how many of you were here, the meeting, how many years ago was it? What is it? 6 years ago. Craig, I'd invited Bobby Petrino, thanks to Frank Fletcher. Would you like to come back for the first time and speak to the people of Arkansas since the incident? And he did. And Anita, I think we had this clip. If you weren't there, this is sort of what transpired for about 60 seconds.
About coming here, I immediately shocked Frank when he called me, and I said, yeah, I'd love to. And I've had a lot of people ask me, about it, but I wanted to be able to come here and apologize to everybody, the fans, the players, and truly tell you how sorry I am for the way it ended. But I also wanted to come here to thank you for everything that people in this room and in the state did for me and my family. You were great to us. You know, you're a special group, special crowd, and you don't really understand how much effect that y'all have on the players and their families and the support, and how much that means. And you know, there's no question the Hogs can come back, but they're going to need everybody's help here. So stay with them and keep supporting them, because you are what makes the University of Arkansas a special job. There's no question about it.
How much would you have bet that Coach Petrino would not be the head football coach, even if with an interim, 6 years from that date? Wow, that is remarkable. And along the same line, since we're talking about coaching searches, Craig, this is the place to be when it comes to talking about potential coaches. Anita, this was our buddy John Gruden when he was here a few years ago. Let's see what John had to say about Simmons Bank and maybe coaching in college one of these days.
I was concerned about being a college coach because I would have you on the death penalty probation within 6 months. But now that you're paying players, and I know a bank with $27 billion, I'd love to have the Arkansas job. Yeah.
Oh, my gosh, that John Green, he's one of a kind. That would be Simmons Bank, of course, our sponsor. So everything comes through the Touchdown Club, right? That's the way it goes. Thanks, Chris, for the assistance on that. Hey, I want to remind everybody, if you can, mute your phones. I know there's been a few complaints about that, phones going off through the meeting. So just if you can, just mute it and tell everybody they can go to lrtouchdown.com, Facebook, Twitter pages, 1037 The Buzz, Touchdown Club YouTube page, Arkansas PBS Live, and watch on there. I do want to thank everybody who's a member. If you're not a member, please sign up. Every little bit helps towards being able to pay for all of our great speakers coming in. Do want to thank all of our great sponsors, our presenting sponsors, Simmons Bank. Craig, our presenting sponsor, is 122 years old. So proud. That was what John Gruden was talking about. Don't forget the Simmons Bank Championship presented by Stevens at Pleasant Valley Country Club, October 20th to the 26th. Make plans to be there. Also want to thank Stevens. Had Kevin Scanlon on the show today. What a class act he is. Boy, they need people like Kevin Scanlon and Houston Nutt involved with this athletic program. But Kevin was great, one of the great representatives of Stevens. We appreciate their support. Crane Automotive, 6,000 cars available, 1,200 employees, 19 dealerships. We appreciate the Crane family and their support of the Touchdown Club all these years. Wright, Lindsay, and Jennings, 125 years. Craig, isn't that amazing? About a bank, 122. Wright, Lindsay, and Jennings, 125 years. I was telling Craig that Wright, Lindsay, and Jennings, they specialize in NIL contracts and all those kind of things for players. We've got Collins Hickman, who is one of their experts in NIL contracts, compliance, and negotiations. And Craig, I know you're happy to see, we've got a commit to SMU. His name is Evan Goodwin from Bauxite. He's here with his parents, Holly and Christian. I'm going to ask him to stand up. He doesn't have to. You can almost see how big he is. He's 6'7", 340 pounds. Let's give it up for Evan Goodwin. So here's the deal. Let's all pony up right now, if you will, before he gets out of here. Let's make our move on him. But congratulations on your commitment. Keep working hard, young man. And boy, he might could play right now. You'd like to run behind him, right, Craig? At one time, yes. Congratulations, Evan. Keep working hard. Also want to thank Oaklawn Hot Springs. I have been horrible on my picks. Absolutely. In college, I was 0-4. I missed every one, including I would have got Arkansas if I'd have bet finally, but I didn't do it. But yeah, Florida State. Missed A&M, missed Tennessee, but I am 2-0 in NFL picks. I'm 4-1 the last 5 picks in the NFL, so at least that's back on track. Download the Oaklawn Sports app and have some fun. Bet against whatever I do in college, and you'll probably win money. But thanks to Wayne Smith, Zach Gillum, and the guys at Oaklawn Sports, download the Oaklawn Sports app today. Summerwood Sports, David and Doug Hendricks, appreciate you guys. Great to see Roger back, Junior, with you guys, and Landon. Great folks, 40,000 square foot sports complex in Bryan, Arkansas. Good people. If you got a party, you want training, they can do it all there. Good folks. Glad to have Summerwood Sports involved with us again this year. Double B, Steve Lytle and Ed Light, we appreciate them. 34 locations throughout the central and northeast Arkansas. All Exxon and Phillips 66 fuel. Gas it, grab it, and go. Sissy's Log Cabin, Bill and Sherry Jones. I was up eating at Ruth Chris in Rogers, and I got a chance to meet. I was just about to say that I met Sherry Jones's brother up there. And did you know the biggest Ruth Chris in America is in Rogers, Arkansas? I walked up there and I was like, it looked like a hotel. It sat 500 people. Anyway, just a small world there, but appreciate Sissy's Log Cabin, their support. 54 years they've been in business. Roller Funeral Homes, Renata Jenkins, great to see you, Renata, as always. Great to have you as always, and your amazing staff. What a great team you have at Roller Funeral Homes. Hatcher Agency, we got Lane married off this weekend. Where's the Hatcher bunch? I know that we got a honeymoon going on. Maddie, I know, listen, I see you there, Maddie. You're here. Well, your brother may be honeymooning, but it looks like a beautiful wedding. Congratulations. And Greg's up in Northwest Arkansas, but appreciate the Hatcher Agency and Hatcher Capital Investments, and also Twin City Limo who helped pick up Craig today. Appreciate all that they do and all the Hatchers do. Advantage Service Company, Kevin Brooks, Matt Bailey, thanks so much for all you guys do. One Call does it all. HVAC, electrical needs, you name it. 35 years they've been in the business, all licensed technicians. Give them a call, 501 call. Simmons Bank Arena, where's Michael Marion? You're very happy today. Even though, listen, Mississippi State almost was 5-0 this weekend. How about that? Almost beating Tennessee, so congratulations, Mike. And you got the Jonas Brothers were announced this morning. They will be playing December 9th. Tickets go on sale this Thursday at 10 a.m. Pulaski County Farm Bureau, Todd Dennis, Stephen Reichert, thanks so much, guys. Appreciate your support of the Touchdown Club. War Memorial Stadium, 76 years for the grand old lady, John Latch and Mark Pike. Appreciate you guys. Kevin Crass, Shay Lewis, thanks so much. Our media sponsors, the Arkansas Democrat Gazette, Wally Hall and Amanda Copley will be introducing our All-Arkansas Preps Player of the Week, and RJ said it may be. We've had just the gaudiest numbers. We may have the gaudiest numbers this week of the year. 103.7 The Buzz, thanks so much. I mentioned my buddy Roger, right-hand man Roger, been doing radio with him for almost 2 decades, and Justin and DJ are out there doing live right now, their show, 103.7 The Buzz, thanks to them. Heather Baker, AY Magazine, and Arkansas Money and Politics. Can't wait to see the article coming out on Kelly Finglass. She's a rock star. I think she's got 275,000 followers on her Instagram account. That's how big she is, but thanks. Can't wait to see that. Heather, and happy birthday, by the way, from last week. Also, want to thank Arkansas PBS, back in the back, the best in the business, Anita, Brian, Kevin, Tanisha, and also the new executive director. We've got a new executive director of Arkansas PBS, a guy that those of us in sports television in Central Arkansas know, used to be with KARK. He's a state rep with RJ, and what a great hire for Arkansas PBS. Let's give it up for Carlton Wing. Carlton, stand up here. I think this is a great move, a great hire, and Carlton, you're so well respected, and we love our relationship with Arkansas PBS in year 2, and hopefully we continue to do great things and even more. So thanks to having Carlton here today. And JF Media and Marketing, Alicia Dover, Jeremy Flynn. I mentioned, I guess last week, the comments by Hunter Yurchek. I think it's up to 2 million impressions of what he said here. And did you see? Became at the Board of Trustees meeting, Hunter Yurchek had to get up and explain, well, when David Basil asked me the questions at the Little Rock Touchdown Club, I wasn't quite prepared to give the appropriate answer. You know, the Touchdown Club is right in there, baby. It's right in there in the mix. So anyway, thanks to JF Media and Marketing. All of our social media is the best in America. You guys do such a great job. The best hotel team, Doubletree Hotel. Tiffany, Nita, Angel, Mark, all of them. Sunbelt Convention Services, Tim Glasscock. Rockstar Passes, Brad and Joy Gonzalez, Brad Rickett. Also want to thank our new sponsors, Midtown Plumbing. You got to love this right here. Calling the hogs and fixing the clogs. Calling the hogs and fixing the clogs. Very creative. I love that. Very nice. Midtown's been around since 2013, thanks to Haley and Jim Coleman and Kyle Jackson. Good folks. Arkansas Surgical Hospital. 41 private patient suites, space for loved ones to rest while patient recovers, 13 state-of-the-art operating rooms. Tell them that's where you want to have your surgery. And last but not least, Arkansas Spine and Pain, Dr. Amir Qureshi, Dr. Q, Scott Davis, and a great doctor, 6 different cities. Go with them before you go anywhere else. The best sponsor group in America. Let's give it up for all of our sponsors. We got a lot of them, Craig. We got a lot of them. You got to get them in. Got to get them in. Our Touchdown Club team, Dwayne Duncan, the best, Chris Kane, RJ Hawk, Steve Sullivan, Steve Qualls, Davis Ford, and our amazing Touchdown Club volunteer team, the best in America, led by Debbie Wyman. Let's give it up for our Touchdown Club team. All right, I can't wait to hear the statistics of our All Arkansas Preps Player of the Week. Please welcome State Representative RJ Hawk, everybody.
Thank you, David. So this week during the coaching surge, or the coaching firing, I saw on social media that in Arkansas, we just don't have the caliber of athletes to play for the University of Arkansas. And every time I hear that, I'm like, you are the dumbest individual to ever put that out, because we have great athletes in the state. I've been doing this. I've been doing high school athletics in Arkansas for, 17 years, Rex? And every year we have top quality talent in the state of Arkansas, and we highlight them right here at the Little Rock Touchdown Club. We've got some in the guests in today. So real quick, round of applause for our high school athletes in the state of Arkansas, because I'm tired of hearing about it. Now let's go up to Rivercrest, because Jaden Young is a senior quarterback and wide receiver and defensive back. And 2 weeks ago against Forest City, they lost the game 58-56. But in the game, he was 12 of 15 for 166 yards and a touchdown, which I know, passing, he's under 200 yards. But he ran the ball 19 times for 163 yards and 5 touchdowns. He also caught a touchdown pass for 48 yards and had 2 interceptions in that game. And like I said, they lost 58-56. And so I was talking to Jaden, and he's like, I had a bad taste in my mouth, so I had to come back and do better the next week. So they played Harrisburg this next week, and they won that game 54-20. He went 8 of 10 for 214 yards passing with 2 touchdowns. He ran the ball 4 times for 46 yards and 2 touchdowns. He caught 2 passes for 99 yards and 2 touchdowns. And he had an interception in the ball game, and they won the game 54-20. So in 2 weeks, he has totaled 736 yards of offense with 12 touchdowns and 3 interceptions in 2 weeks. His parents, Kamisha and Jarrell, are here. Your All Arkansas Preps Player of the Week is Jaden Young from Rivercrest.
Outstanding. All right, Mom and Daddy got to be proud of that young man. My Lord have mercy. Well done. All right, Rex, I hope that you'll spend exactly 2 seconds on the Arkansas-Notre Dame game. Give it up for Rex Nelson for our weekend recap, everybody.
Well, most of these people were here last week, and you remember what I said last week, right? David had appointed me as the minister of positivity. Y'all were down in the dumps about that Memphis loss, so I was going to be the minister of positivity. Remember what I told you, I'm going to remain positive at all times. David, I resign. Just the facts, baby. Just the facts. Notre Dame 56, Arkansas 3. We'll make it fast, but a few interesting things here. Arkansas 13. Unlucky 13. 56-13. Defense only gives up 42 first half points. I'm staying positive. Defense did not force a turnover. I'm staying positive. The most points allowed by Arkansas in a non-conference game since a 63-7 loss to Tulsa in 1919. I'm staying positive. Notre Dame's 641 total yards were the most for the school since 2017 against anybody. I'm staying positive. 4th consecutive home loss to a Power 4 team. In its last 4 home games against Power 4 teams, Arkansas has only been outscored 173-64. I'm staying positive. Notre Dame scored on each of its first 6 possessions, finished with 431 passing yards and 210 rushing yards. I'm moving on. Doesn't get any better. ULM 28, Arkansas State 16. ULM, perennial cellar dweller in the Sun Belt. The first ASU loss to UAM since 2009. They had won 15 straight. ASU now 1-4, 0-1 in conference. Red Wolves jumped to a 10-0 first quarter, but they did nothing after that. 217 of the Warhawks' 392 yards came on the ground. Very little rushing defense for the Red Wolves. So I'm moving on. UCA falls to 1-4, Chris. It was close. 35-32 loss at Lamar. Quarterback Austin Myers is back. He missed the first month with a broken bone in his foot. He was 25 of 41 passing for 358 yards, 3 touchdowns. He's a junior, speaking of Arkansas talent, from Bologna. So we're expecting you to get them back going again. Get those Purple Bears going. Only one of our Division I teams won over the weekend. Let's hear it for the Golden Lions of UAPB. 2-2. After a 24-20 win over winless Alcorn State, Southern Heritage Classic at Memphis. They did better in Simmons Bank Liberty Stadium than Arkansas did the previous week. Well, the winning score came with only 5:39 left. Now, our Division II football is still strong. Harding, number 2 in the nation. They go to 4-0, 24-7 win over 1-3 Ouachita and Searcy. Ouachita, you remember, had broken their 25-game winning streak a year ago. They were defending national champions. Well, they were out for them. It was an overflow crowd. Small college football is alive and well in Arkansas. They'd even put up extra stands in the end zone, and those were all full. It was great to see. It was a great atmosphere. Now, UAM was 0-3. Remember, I've been talking about Arkansas Tech. They were 3-0. Anything can happen on any given Saturday. The Boll Weevils go in and they exterminate the Wonder Boys. Don't you love our mascots here in Arkansas? Man, we got Boll Weevils, we got Wonder Boys, we got Mule Riders, we got Reddies. I mean, things you won't find anywhere else in America, Craig. So the Boll Weevils exterminate the Wonder Boys, 31-24 in Russellville. Winning score in that game came with only 1:01 left. GAC's exciting. You need to get out and see some. Henderson and SAU, both good teams. They're both 3-1. Southern Arkansas won 24-21 in Arkadelphia. Now, our Division III and NAI. I'm digging deep this week, folks. I'm digging deep for positivity. They were all winners, David. Hendricks is 2-2 after a 47-28 win over Rhodes. Lyon is 1-2 after a 38-24 win over Westminster. Arkansas Baptist beat Community Christian 35-0. So we're 3-0 among our non-scholarship teams. Now, back to the SEC. Boy, if you forget that 11 a.m. Notre Dame Arkansas game and the rest of the day, there were some fun football games. Ole Miss goes to 5-0, 24-19 over now 4-1 LSU. Trinidad Chambliss, remember he had his coming out party against the Hogs, came out of Division II, led Ferris State to that national championship last week. You may have to start talking about him in Heisman talk. He passed for 314 yards. That's his 3rd consecutive 300-plus game since taking over for Austin Simmons as the Rebel quarterback. Alabama, 3-1, 1-0 in conference. Georgia, 3-1, 1-1 now after Alabama's 24-21 win that ended Georgia's home winning streak between the hedges at 33 games. They had not lost a home game until Saturday in 6 years. at Georgia. The Aggies are undefeated, 4-0, 1-0 in conference. Auburn's 3-2, 0-2 in the SEC, as A&M wins a close game, 16-10. The Aggies are 4-0 for the first time since 2016, so it's been 9 years. And as David mentioned, Mississippi State gave all Tennessee could handle before Tennessee wins in overtime, 41-34. Tennessee 4-1, 1-1 in conference. Mississippi State 4-1, 0-1 in conference. And how about Vanderbilt? Vanderbilt 5-0 for the first time in 17 years, 55-35 over Utah State. So we end September with 5 undefeated teams overall in the SEC. Ole Miss is 5-0, Vandy's 5-0, Missouri's 5-0, Oklahoma, where Brent Venables was on the hot seat, remember, entering the season, they're 4-0, and Texas A&M is 4-0. This week, conference play, Kentucky at Georgia, Texas at Florida, Vanderbilt, that could be interesting, at Alabama, and Mississippi State at Texas A&M. Go beat those Aggies, Michael. Now, AP poll continue to be dominated by SEC teams. They got 10 of them still in there. Ole Miss all the way up to number 4 now. Oklahoma, number 5. Texas A&M, number 6. Texas, number 9. Alabama, number 10. Georgia, number 12. LSU, number 13. Tennessee, number 15. Vanderbilt, number 16. And Missouri, number 19. Hogs thankfully have Saturday off. That means some of you people won't be so grumpy when I walk in here next Monday. That's a great thing. But guess what we have? We have a buffet of football, Craig, in this state in front of them. We've got Texas State at ASU. We've got Utah Tech at UCA. We've got East Central Oklahoma at Harding. We've got Oklahoma Baptist at Ouachita, OBU versus OBU. We've got Southeastern Oklahoma at Arkansas Tech. We've got Southern Nazarene at UAM. Now, what this means, Craig, is that these people have 6 different towns to choose from. Games in Jonesboro, Conway, Searcy, Arkadelphia, Russellville, and Monticello. You know what that means for them? Turn off the TV, get off your butt, and get out and see a college football game on Saturday. Thanks, everybody.
Nice use there, Rex, of buffet, of something you and I know very well the last few years. So well done. Before we bring up Craig, I want to mention that Terry Condor Johnson, where is Terry at? Terry is she's getting ready to step down after 10 years as head of the Arkansas Sports Hall of Fame. She's here with Stephen Riffle, who is the new executive director. Let's give a round of applause to Stephen Riffle, the new director. I think it's the Boys and Girls Club, 15 years, is that right? 15 years. Let's give a round of applause for Terry Condor Johnson for doing a great job for the last decade. Thank you, Terry. Outstanding. Thank you. And tomorrow, everybody calls her Mama B. It's my mom, Craig. Mom, stand up. Tomorrow is her birthday. It's a very special number. It's 8. She's officially 8 decades old. So let's sing her happy birthday to Mama B. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Mama B. Happy birthday to you. All right, there she goes. She's something. I'm #blessed to have her here in Little Rock and have her at the Touchdown Club every Monday, and love her very much. Thank you, Mother. All right, want you to see Steve Sullivan's introduction of Craig James. You know, we had Eric Dickerson here last year, and a lot of times Craig gets overshadowed because of what Craig went on to do, what Eric went on to do in the pros. One of the greatest to ever play the game in the NFL level. But I want you to listen to all the achievements and watch the film of the speed of Craig James. Because I remember preparing for him as a player, it wasn't just Eric Dickerson we needed to be aware of, it was Craig James. Let's take a look at the tape.
The pride of Houston's Stratford High School, Craig broke the Texas 4A rushing record with 2,411 yards as a senior. Then it was on to SMU, where he was part of the most famed duo in college football history. He and Eric Dickerson were the Pony Express. Both did amazing things in their time at SMU. As a freshman, James outrushed Dickerson and was the Southwest Conference's Offensive Newcomer of the Year. Craig was a 3-time first-team All-Southwest Conference selection, rushing for 2,469 yards. The highlight of Craig's pro career, 1985 with the Patriots when he rushed for 1,227 yards. Craig is also an accomplished broadcaster and a punter. He was 6th in the nation in punting in 1982. Please welcome a one-of-a-kind running back, part of the one and only Pony Express, Craig James.
All right, you know what? I'm so glad. I guess there's a difference between the fight song of SMU and whatever that racket that your band used to play, AB, I don't know what it was. I would be on the field, and all the band would play, the whole entire game was, and then when the play would get ready, it go, and then the play was over. Oh, my gosh, it was just maddening. But
now, as a player on our team, we never really even heard the band. He's over there playing defense. We're beating their fannies, so he's listening to the band.
I do listen.
It didn't get old to us.
I have to say, you guys were 2-0 against us. And listen, one of the epic games in Razorback history, 1982. To me, I always tell the story. We went to the old Dallas Cowboys Stadium with the opening in the ceiling, and we had about 30,000 fans. You guys had about 30,000 fans. I think you guys were either number 2, and I think we were number 3. We had the number 1 defense with Billy Ray Smith. I mean, we were loaded on Gary Anderson, Steve Court. You guys obviously had Lance McElhaney, had you and Eric and Michael Carter. Number 1 defense versus the number 1 offense. What a game that was. Came down to basically the last couple series and a very questionable interference call against Nathan Jones. I almost was going to show the video.
It wasn't passing.
The great Keith Jackson, who was on the call, said, that's a bad call. That's a bad call. But listen, those were some great wars back then. Coach Holtz was the coach for us, and you guys had it was Meyer at the time, right?
Yeah, we had Meyer. Years later, I'm doing college game day, and Lee Corso and Fowler and I are on the sidelines doing an Iron Bowl. And the atmosphere was electric. It was awesome. And I remember sitting there saying to myself, man, it would have been really cool to have played in this. We did. The Southwest Conference was the SEC before the SEC. And it was just all the great players in this region stayed around, and we played, and it was highly competitive.
Yeah, it was a close game in '81 in Fayetteville. And actually, I was involved in a play. Funny story, true story. I was a freshman linebacker, number 2. I was a backup linebacker, so I played on all the special teams. And the guy who was doing it was punt block. It was a punt block, and the guy that was in front of me was hurt the whole week. So I practiced at that punt block position. And when you don't practice, you don't play in the game. So sure enough, it came down to the fourth quarter. We called a punt block. I went in there because I practiced all week, and guess who was lined up beside me? The guy who had not practiced all week. He thought he was in there, called a penalty. You were punting at the time, gave you guys the ball back, and you ended up winning the game. Coach, I remember Coach Turner was chewing me out on the sideline. I said, Coach, I practiced all week. But remember
It's the little things.
It's the little things,
the little details, and that's why Lou Holtz was such a great coach. And I was blessed to have been able to work a few years broadcasting with Lou in New York at CBS and remain friends. And the guy just was relentless about doing the little things. Yeah. And games like that, it matters.
Before we sort of talk about, what's, your life and your career, obviously Sam Pittman, right now there's a press conference going on with Hunter Yurachek and Bobby Petrino. You follow college football even though you're not doing media anymore. Your thoughts on Sam Pittman, the Razorback football program as it is now?
And so since this happened yesterday, knowing I'd be here with you guys today, I've really tried to pay attention to this specific situation. For years, I covered college football and got a chance to see all behind the scenes of the coaches and what it took to motivate and coach players. 2 years ago, Rhett Lashley, when he went to SMU, invited me to come in and to be a part of the team. And I started going to practices and player meetings, coaches meetings, and I had a chance to get to know the culture of today's players and how different it is. Sam Pittman's a good football coach. You know, Kirby Smart's 1-7 against Alabama, but, you know, he's still a good football coach. Bill Belichick, he won Super Bowls, but now he's got 70 new players in a locker room in North Carolina. He's trying to convince them to be a good football team, that you care about each other. SMU's 2-2 this year. We're trying to convince those new 40 players that came into that locker room that you have to be good. So, in my mind, today's players, you're going to have them for a year. It's a year-to-year deal. You got to figure out how to make them a team, make it important to them to where they play hard. I will say this, the excellence of play in college football has been elevated at certain programs with this collection through the transfer portal where all these great players are. Oregon, Ohio State, Penn State, their excellence is amazing. It's shining. Whereas you have situations like Florida State last year where they had all those high-rated players. You guys coming in here, big stars on your helmets. You guys are big stars. You got to go play. Football hasn't changed. It's blocking and tackling and hustle. And if you don't do that, you will not win football games.
Rhett Lashley is a guy that we all know. He's an Arkansan. I think he was born and raised in Springdale, was on Gus Malzahn's staff, was a Broyles Award finalist for Auburn years ago, so we all know about him. And he's done a great job at SMU. I know that I've seen a lot of lists that say he would be a great target to go after for the head coach of the Razorbacks. What's your thoughts on Rhett?
Rhett and Lauren Lashley are wonderful people, and couldn't say enough good things about them just as people, man, just as people. They're awesome people, awesome parents. They're great for the community. SMU loves them. I think Rhett and Lauren, in order to get them, God's going to have to call them and feel led to go wherever that might be. They're comfortable with SMU right now. And I would say this about any school that's trying to. We got, what do you have, Oklahoma State, we got Arkansas, UCLA, Virginia Tech that are out trying to find a new coach. You have to paint the picture. So I'm going to use what I think objectively is a model that worked at least for us at SMU. You have to have a trustee staff with someone making the decision there that says we are going to enhance this academic university called Arkansas through athletics. The investment's going to have to come through these athletes, and it's going to enhance the academic reputation of the school. 65% increase in applications at SMU after the ACC championship game last year. Money well spent. But you got to have an all-in. You have to have a vision as a school. Arkansas, you know, yes, there's money here in Arkansas, but it has to be reappropriated. You have to say and be committed to saying, at Arkansas, we're not going to be just great in baseball and in basketball. We're going to be great in football. And whether people like it or not, and I'm all for all the men's and women's sports, football drives the bus. It's the way it is. And it's the TV, it's 85% plus of that revenue comes through football. So whoever the coach is that you go out and try to swoon and sway to come here, you got to convince them there's a plan at Arkansas to compete. I've been an Arkansas fan all my life. I grew up in Houston, Texas. And I watched Arkansas and Texas, and I don't like Texas. I pull for Arkansas every time. And so I understand and know how big Arkansas can be. And so I was pulling for Sam Pittman. I thought he was the guy. It's not just Sam Pittman, though. It's the culture. It's the athletes. It's the way of the world.
You know, you were talking, we both were talking before the meeting. You look at a situation like at Texas Tech where you've got a billionaire that goes in and completely tilts everything to where, you know, he took like softball was the measuring stick for softball. Every salary was maybe a couple $100,000. He wants to pay one of his girls $1 million. Is that the kind of model we want to have, Craig? Is that what you think? Or obviously you would like better guardrails to be able to prevent from just going in there and having one donor and just.
Why not, though? Why not? I mean, we're marketing for a university. And I watched Texas Tech, that $1 million pitcher.
Right.
She got them to the national championship game against the University of Texas. I watched those 3 games. How much publicity did Texas Tech University receive because of that? In football this year, Cody spent all that money on the football program. They got a great head coach, too. But their team is really good. When you watch Texas Tech play right now, offense, defense, special teams, they're good. So I think Joey McGuire has that it factor about him, too, where he can go in and relate to these players. Rhett Lashley has that. You got to be able to turn it around. Dabo Swinney hasn't forgotten how to be a great football coach. I was in Charlotte last year and watched him win the ACC championship game. Now, all of a sudden, he's got a locker room, and people are questioning whether Dabo's a good coach. Dabo Swinney's a great football coach. It's just the culture, it can get you or it can hurt you.
Do you like the transfer portal? Obviously, the story is that's getting ready to be changed.
Yeah.
Do you like what that's been the last year or two?
Well, I certainly here at Arkansas, now that the window's opened up, these players can automatically right now say, I want to transfer. And so they're in the portal. They'll wait, if they're smart, and wait until the portal opens up in December. I think it's good, but they need to refine it and bring it down to where there's one period, a 2-week window maybe in December sometime, where the players have to make a decision, I'm going to stay here or I'm going. And there's freedom and flexibility for a coach, and there should be for a player.
I've said this for anybody I talked to that played before the 90s. Statute of limitations has run out for anything you may say today at the Touchdown Club. I've said that to Eric Dickerson. I've said that to Keith Jackson, to Barry Switzer, and others. So back when, I never made it in the league. I never played in the NFL. But I was playing against players who were getting paid back in the day. And SMU, obviously, was well documented. That was one of them. You were a heralded star in Texas. So was Eric Dickerson. We've seen the 30 for 30. What was that like then? What was that experience like with the money, the way the SMU set that up?
Well, as Rex read the Pony Express poem, the only thing I would add to that was Eric had a gold Trans Am and I had a red Porsche. Boy, my parents were doing really well. It was an era when you say at Arkansas they weren't paying players, but I was recruited all over the country, coast to coast. It was going on. Bear Bryant was recruiting me hard, and he said, "Young man, I can't offer you no money, but you ask them boys what they're getting for them tickets." And they'd get 4 tickets, and they go sell them for $1,000 a pop minimum. I got to SMU, I tried to sell 4 tickets, nobody wanted them. It's been going on forever, and I think it's rightfully so. 98% of you guys will not play in the NFL, and there's nothing wrong with that, Evan. There's nothing wrong with that. So take advantage of the youth right now while you have. Why shouldn't you be compensated when you're 18 to 22? It's work, and in your body and your skills are floating the ships. RG3 built the new stadium on the Brazos River for Baylor. Johnny Manziel did it for Texas A&M. You go school to school and see what the newness with this money has done for the program. So I'm all for the athletes. To be honest, I never had and Eric and I, neither one of us had a life-changing experience with being taken care of at SMU. I never missed a meal, but I didn't have anything that was life-changing.
Yeah, he made of course, I'm sure every time he speaks, he made the joke. He said that A&M had given him the car, and he didn't have to give. He didn't give it back.
He didn't admit that forever.
I know he didn't. Yeah.
I mean, forever. He held on to it.
I said he didn't give it back.
I know what y'all talking about, man.
Yeah.
Our senior, Eric was about 40 minutes from me. We were both on West Houston. I was near Katy, and he was a little bit further out in Sealy. And so during our senior year, I drove out to see Eric at his house. And there weren't cell phones back then in 1979 and 78. And so I drive out there, go knock on his door, and his mom comes to the door, and she goes, "No, Eric's not here." And "Where is he?" He's at the car wash. So I said, "Okay, so where's the car wash?" She goes, "Well, it's Sealy. It's a little town." So I go over, find the car wash, and there's Eric with that fro going, that big smile and those glasses, washing that gold Trans Am, man.
Well, you guys came in the same year, right?
Yeah, same year.
So interesting. I think this is for especially the young athletes that are here. Eric Dickerson was the #1 player in America, and you knew he was going there. And so you were a star in Texas. Most guys would go, "I'm not going to go there. I'm not going to get the carries." But you decided to do it. And actually, you were the Southwest Conference Freshman of the Year. Why did you decide to go there when you knew you were going to probably have to share carries with him?
Okay, so I've rushed and broken the state single-season rushing record in Texas. I had confidence. I thought I was pretty good, too. Eric thought he was really good, too. We were reading about each other, but we both had confidence in each other. I remember his first 2 years. His first year, he runs for 1,800 yards, still a rookie record, and that will never be broken in the NFL, I don't think. He doesn't either. That's a big record. Then he has the single-season rushing record. He's the NFL Offensive Player of the Year. The next year, I'm the Lombardi NFL Offensive Player of the Year, and people are going like, "Now, how did you two guys in the same class go to the same school?" Well, we went because there was a guy named Ron Meyer who had great enthusiasm, and there was a vision for the university and athletics with a Mustang Mania bumper sticker going all over the city of Dallas back then. We believed in that guy who had the enthusiasm. The same thing can happen today right here in Little Rock.
Yeah, and so you guys were. I remember preparing for you guys. There's no drop off. It's a different style of running. I mean, I don't know what your 40 time was. What was your 40 time?
I used to try to race Eric. I said, let's go again. And he would beat me by about.
Yeah.
I always say this: whoever the fastest guy on the field was,
Yeah.
I was just right behind
Yeah,
him.
I mean,
I never got. I got caught one time. in
You
the
were a
NFL.
burner. I mean, it didn't matter who was in there.
Well, it depended on who was chasing me. I didn't have to run that fast from you, man. It was pretty- Hey, Mama B, I took it easy. I didn't let him tackle me.
And you also have a great quarterback in Lance McElhaney. My
Oh man,
gosh.
we ran the option. We ran the I formation, and we would zone stretch you. We'd toss sweep. We'd do an OT counter, and then we'd run the option down the line with our quarterback. He was a great option quarterback, and he really made it all happen. There were so many great players. Our defense was phenomenal. We had multiple first-round draft
And
choices,
Michael Carter
draft
was
picks.
one of them,
Russell Carter, Wes Hopkins. There were so many players on our team there. But it was a time when Dallas Ron Meyer captured the enthusiasm and the vibe of being in Dallas with a vision from the university to support that enthusiasm.
Yeah, remember his senior year, you were 11-0-1. So they could have won the national championship except for that tie with us and that winning your bowl game, but that was just how good.
So I was an AP voter for a long time, number of years. It'd be really hard to do that in today's world. But I remember when I got into broadcast, and here I am, I'm doing a Joe Paterno game. Penn State won the national championship in our 11-0-1 year. And so I'm sitting there, and I'm watching on a Friday afternoon. Joe was out there, and he's having cocktails, happy hour with all the Northeast media. He was buddies with the voters. And I'm like, okay, so our senior year, we tied a great Arkansas football team. And we're penalized. We beat Pitt and Dan Marino in the Cotton Bowl. We were undefeated. We should have won the national championship, but we didn't because we had a guy that was our head coach who'd come from Hattiesburg, Mississippi. Nobody knew who he was, Bobby Collins.
Yeah, you end up going to, you play the USFL, then you go to the Patriots under Raymond Berry, who was an assistant under Frank Broyles. And you got to play in the Super Bowl against many considered the greatest defense of all time. And that guy right there, number 99, Dan Hampton. What do you have? What memories do you have of that?
Big Dan,
game?
he tackled me, man. Hey, man, what you doing? Welcome to the NFL. Oh, like what's up? I get tackled in the Super Bowl by Refrigerator Perry, big fridge. He was such a sweetheart, great. Big 330, 340 pounds. He had no teeth, man. I mean, and he's on top of my helmet, and I'm looking up at him. He goes, "What's up, Craig?" And I was like, "Get off."
Yeah, but that was not a great experience. But get to the Super Bowl.
Oh, I had a great Super Bowl. 5 carries, 3 yards, 1 fumble. It was really stellar. And my dad comes to the ball game with my brother, who played 10 years of Major League Baseball. They're up in the stands, and I fumble. My dad says, "Let's go. We're driving home." My dad left the game.
So,
Dad, why didn't you come ask me to come with you?
You were all pro. You were all pro in 1985, and so. But I think what's really great, some of you may not remember, it was Craig James before there was Kirk Herbstreit. It was this guy right here with Lee Corso and Chris Fowler. I remember vividly, and you talked about that, about how it started. You were in studio the first 2 years of that college game. Remind everybody sort of the timeline of how that happened.
So ESPN, that's back, I consider the golden era of broadcast. There weren't 1,000 outlets. ESPN was really the place to go for college football. Thursday night, we'd go on the weekend kickoff show, and it was a big deal. Saturday, we'd go and do game day on the road. Our first road show was Florida State at Notre Dame in 1993. And man, Corso and I were running across the stadium trying to get into the Ed Joyce Center, and it was packed. I mean, it was packed, and all the executives of ESPN were like, "This is what we got to do each week. This is what we're on the road every week." After the game was over with, Lou Holtz comes out and joins us on the set, and it was just explosive. But those years, you had to show up. We would get every night overnighted to us a packet of notes of newspaper clippings from the West Coast to the East Coast because there wasn't an internet, and you had to figure out what was happening so that on Thursday night we could come out and say, "Hey, here's what's happening at Washington. Here's what's happening in Virginia," etc. And then on Saturday, Lee and I started to get really competitive. You know, we started hiding things from each other. And he'd say, "How'd you get that material?" And so it became a fun competition amongst this. But my favorite story, of course, as his retirement was up, people have asked me, we were somewhere doing a game, and there was one room short. And so Corso and I are going to be roommates. I said, I'm sleeping with you, Lee. And he goes, okay, let's go. And I'd always heard that he liked to put on, he always said, I like to wear a green robe, smoke a cigar, and take a shot of NyQuil, and I'd go to sleep. So we get in bed, there he is, got his green robe on, smoking that cigar, down with the NyQuil, and he says, good night, sweetheart. Where's the kiss? Little Scooter was unbelievable. And when I talked to him last week saying, goodbye and congratulations on a great career, before he hangs up the phone, hey, hey, not so fast, my friend. He was the voice for college football. And, Kirk came in and they just meshed perfectly together. And so I left game day to go to CBS doing the NFL Today and college football with Nance and those guys. I had 4 kids at home. Was really blessed with my work that ESPN was allowing me to do. CBS offered me a job that gave me 2 or 3 days away from home. And I made the decision, I want to be with my kids, and I don't regret that decision at all.
Yeah, I remember it vividly. We've had Kirk Herbstreit here, and I think we might even show the video where the first time he came in, he was pouring sweat. He was nervous, and I thought, man, they have, this is not Craig James. And, I mean, did you have any idea, could you have ever imagined that show would be what it is? And Lee Corso, it was before the headgear, that would turn out to what? Did you have any inkling that, wow, this is going to be really big and that Lee's going to be the superstar?
Yeah, the last 2 years there when I was with him, we started to get into massive crowds. And you could tell that it was made for TV. And it was put it on the road and the enthusiasm, then the headgear comes along. And all they've done to build that up, that program, it's been really good for college football.
Yeah, it's, we can say what we want to about the money and all this, but the ratings are still there. People love to watch college football. And I think it's interesting, too. You made the point back for a lot of us older folks, it used to be you had, like 1 game or 2 games on Saturday. I mean, are you kidding? Every game is on now.
Yeah, no, it's a challenge now these guys take their shirts off, they dance on the sets, and they're throwing mud against the wall. They're, clowns.
Whoa, hey, it's a shot.
They're probably good guys. I know this. When we first started ESPN, we had to wear a navy blue blazer. And after a few years, I talked him into letting me use a different shade of blue on a navy blue blazer. And we had fun as we needed to, but we were talking. It was not just throwing stuff out there and being a clown. And I think now the clowns kind of draws eyeballs.
Yeah, in the game, what do you think about the game from a physical standpoint? There's a lot of talk about CTE and the rules have changed. Are you glad you played in both the NFL and college? Are you glad the way the game of football has changed, or you think maybe we might have gone too far?
Today's graduates from college would have a hard time playing in the NFL of my era. It was violent. There was no hurt. You tackle a guy, you can hit a quarterback any way you want to hit the quarterback. There's no defensive player. If you're outside that chalk and you're in the field and you're playing, you're going to get hit. It was violent. Now, I'm not condoning that, and I'm not saying that's great. I think they have improved the game from a safety standpoint, logically safe standards. But football, Doug Flutie and I worked together for a number of years. I played with Doug also in New England, and I used to call him one pass. You threw one pass in your whole life, and everybody knows who you are. The most popular guy that I ever did. I mean, I've been around a lot of stars. No one is more known and noteworthy than Doug Flutie. So, and I would say, Doug, football is football. There's a zone defense. There's the same zones back there. There's a man defense, the same kind of man defense. There's a combo defense over there. There's a block. There's a scoop. There's a combo. It's blocking and tackling. And coaches who get beyond that, I think I call it a squirrely offense when they start, you're going to have to win 45-42. The great football teams in college football, it's 3rd and 1. They put their hand in the dirt, and they can get a first down.
Last thing before we let you go. So all your accomplishments, you're in real estate now, by the way, too. You've been in real estate for a while in the Dallas area. But you also, I want to welcome you into the world of football awards, something that I've had a lot of experience with. Tell everybody about your new award.
Thank you, brother. Okay, so last year, Eric Dickerson and I, we created the Pony Express Award, and it recognizes the nation's top tandem. It could be 2 corners. It could be a safety in a corner. It could be 2 wide receivers, a quarterback receiver. It could be 2 running backs. It could be 2 offensive linemen. And so it's a we award in a me era, and it's voted on by the players in the country. So I'm so excited about what this does. Eric and I are brothers in Christ. We do believe in Jesus Christ, and we're not afraid of that. And it's not that you can't have to be a believer to win the award, but we also get out there and we share what made us. How can we, in 50 years, have the love that we have for each other and the friendship? It can happen. And so this year's award, you can't figure out who the candidates are until probably October the 1st, because we don't really know.
Your winners last year?
Travis Hunter and Shadur Sanders won last year, and obviously they were great players.
Do you think there would ever be another duo running back? I guess what would be the closest, off the top of my head, that Reggie Bush, who was the...
Yeah, there you go.
Maybe off the top of my head.
In today's era, Eric and I talk about how, you probably transfer. Your mindset
That's a good point, yeah.
Penn State has 2 running backs that are really good friends, and they're candidates. And they work hard together, and they're very successful. Ohio State has a couple of good runners. I mean, it's not that you can't, but we had, in an 11-game schedule, we didn't get to play 14, 15 games back then. We had well over 8,000 yards together. And so if we'd have had a chance to play another 10, 12 games in our career, our numbers would have been pretty good.
Yeah, what a challenge it was for us to prepare for you guys. Not only you two at running back, McElhaney, and you had good receivers, but really 2 of the greatest running back duo. I mean, you can make the argument the greatest running back duo in the history of college football. Pretty cool accomplishment, and a great guy, great broadcasting career, great father and husband. And so let's give it up for Craig James, everybody. Thanks for being here, Greg.
Thank you, guys. Thank you,
Great
man.
stuff.
Thank you.
It's awesome.
Thank you. Thank you.